Om is a popular YouTuber from Delhi, India, who for 2 years has been steadily growing his channel Om Vlogs. At first, he would do normal things like go to a museum or an amusement park, but about a year ago, he started to get into ghost hunting. Now, he goes on ghost hunting explorations all the time, and they are really good. Delhi has a population of about 30 million people, so we are talking about a single city with as many people as the whole state of Texas, which means plenty of places to explore and plenty of ghosts to be found. So recently, Om Vlogs went to a building that was so cursed he wouldn't say the name of it or where it was, only that it was a restaurant in his hometown where something horrendous happened that made them close down and never reopen. On May 13th of 2020, they visit it for the first time, or at least try to. They don't get far because a presence guarding the area won't let them go inside. They stay at what they mistake for a safe distance and peer in. There's a light that's orange here at 8 minutes and 9 seconds coming from an otherwise dark room. They don't see anything else and chance a closer look. Om is talking more about the place when a mysterious shadow descends the wall at 12 minutes and 23 seconds. A minute later, they learn beyond a doubt that something is inside. His friend is standing next to him, so it's not him. They dare not enter, but they stick around for a bit longer. At 15 minutes and 22 seconds, a single pixel goes white while recording a room on the second floor. When they zoom out, the light mysteriously goes away, but not before more black shapes pass over it. By now, it's getting late, so Om is wrapping up the video when he senses something watching him and points out a shadow figure that only he can see in person. It doesn't show up on camera, at least not that I can see, but you should remember this area for later because things are about to ramp up. Apparently whatever is in there is not happy to see them again when they return a few weeks later. This time a white-robed figure with a demonic head and 2 horns leans on the brick wall as if taunting them to try and go in, which they don't notice and proceed to do. They shine their light into a blown out window, and eyes waverly reflect at 7 minutes and 5 seconds. The restaurant is obviously no longer taking reservations. They stand and brace themselves for whatever comes next, and when nothing happens, they decide to explore a few rooms before returning to the main area. As they think about whether to leave or not, a terrible feeling washes over them, and their camera goes out of focus like something is near, and it is. Om puts his hand up to shield the group from something they can't see but we can. At 10 minutes and 58 seconds, it's coincidentally standing in the exact same place where Om thought he saw something the first time. The building becomes more displeased with each passing moment.
तो कुछ आप क्या कुछ ऐसा करके दिखा सकते हो?
But when they go into the room to leave, its guardian is absolutely gone. I guess it knew they were leaving and letting them pass without harm. And I think I heard a fire alarm at 11 minutes and 18 seconds even though the place clearly doesn't have one. I suspect it once burnt down. And what you heard was paranormal residual energy from the event. Om never does reveal the location, but there is a comment left by someone who thought they recognized the location, and I thought this was interesting. If someone could please confirm that this location is on the Cardinal Bypass Road in Delhi, that would be helpful, and tell us anything else you know about its haunted history. A Redditor named Bunny Toes posted a really bizarre video on the Chills Narrator subreddit that's worth further analysis. She says she was deleting random videos taken by her young grandkids when she came across this strange moment in her old house, which she has since moved directly because of what you're about to see. Her grandchild innocently passes over a shadow figure standing at the foot of her bed. Bunny Toes says this happened a day before her mother-in-law's birthday, who used to live with them for 6 years and recently passed. She has no doubt that this is her mother-in-law visiting her from the other side. This could be a real ghost sighting, but you do see Bunny Toes at the beginning of this video, so it might have been her walking away. I guess I'm willing to believe her, because most people would recognize themselves on camera, and the uploader is adamant that the shadow figure in the video is simply not her. Fear Hides Here, published to YouTube in July of 2021, this investigative team encountered something sinister. While investigating in broad daylight, the crew only just enters the creepy abandoned house when a scary loud racket is heard.
Um mau cheiro insuportável. Ó, pelo amor de Deus. Mas nem chegamos aqui, o que foi isso?
Something is thrown against the wall in another room and sounds like it breaks apart. In one room, the investigators break out an EMF sensor, which starts beeping dramatically when it's held up toward one part of the ceiling.
Ah, será que dá pra olhar aqui em cima aqui, ó? Ó, parei.
One of the crew boosts another up to the crawl space in the ceiling to see what's triggering the device. It looks like the crawl space was being lived in at one point, as a pair of shoes and a book or pamphlet is up there amongst the soot and garbage. As they realize the book is a diary, banging is heard in the next room. Something is opening and closing the door.
Tá cheio de nome, mano.
Caramba, cara.
Foi isso, cara?
Não sei, foi só pegar isso aqui, ó.
Olha aqui a porta, cara. Olha a porta.
Nossa, velho. Que isso, mano?
It looks like the hidden figure doesn't want that diary to be read. The cameraman checks outside, but there's nothing. A short while later, another bang is heard, and that's when the diary spontaneously combusts. Cameraman is holding the diary when a corner of the paper catches fire. He throws it to the ground in surprise.
Ô, vamos ficar esperto, porque aqui é eternite, mano. Se varar alguma coisa aqui.
Olha lá, ali, ó, tá caindo ali, ó.
Caramba, cara.
Ei, ô, o negócio.
Oxi, velho.
Pegou fogo do nada?
When he picks it back up, a glass breaks in the next room.
Nossa, cara.
Cara, o negócio começou a pegar fogo aqui
Tem
do
uma coisa
nada.
chegada atrás, não sabia?
Tem uns símbolos aqui, ó.
Ali, ó.
O que tá escrito aí em volta desse símbolo?
Puta que pariu, o que é
Porra,
isso?
velho.
Causing him to throw it down again. When they gain the courage to pick it up again, another bang is heard, although its source remains unseen.
Tinha um Lúcio Te Adoro por aqui. Toma, filho.
Caramba, cara.
Olha aqui, o que é isso? Puta que pariu.
Nossa, mano. As abelhas.
Mas será que esse...
Nossa, mano.
They enter another room, clearly afraid of what's going on around them and the entity that they've made angry.
Será que
Sai
esse...
da porta, espera ela se esconder um pouco, velho.
Que jeito, cara. Aqui, o negócio tá caindo aqui, velho. Aqui, ó.
Aqui é laje, vem aqui, aqui é laje. Vem pra cá.
Puta que pariu, a casa vai cair, mano.
Feio, a gente ficou... Vai ficar preso aqui um tempo, mano.
Later, they are simply standing in a room capturing video when a fire lights beneath one crew member's feet unbeknownst to him.
E agora, velho?
Tá pegando fogo aí, feio.
Another runs towards him and pulls him away, and the fire goes out on its own. For the grand finale, they enter the main room, and one of the crew appears to see something in a gap in the roof. A scary shadow leaves the gap as something breaks, causing the crew to vacate the premises ASAP.
Caraca, feio.
Mano, vamos. Como é que é? E agora, cara?
Ali, ó. Puta que pariu. Vamos.
Nossa, mano.
Nossa, velho. Vai, sai.
Corre.
Vai, cara.
Sai.
What was in that diary? Something incriminating? We'll never know because the spirit doesn't want us to. A while back, I analyzed a viral video of an unknown creature caught on camera in China. People were saying it was a sickly bear, but villagers insisted it was a mythological spirit known as a water ghost. That one was in captivity, but since then another one's been found running loose in the wild, this time in Malaysia. The way it crawls is not like a bear, but maybe it is sick with mange like they say. Of particular interest is where the supposed bear chooses to go. Remember, villagers in China say this is a water ghost, and then it slips into the water. Don't get me wrong, I definitely think this is just a bear with mange trying to swim away from the camera, but I'm no expert and the villagers are the ones who live there and saw it with their own eyes. The point is, no one knows for certain, so I'm not going to act like I do. What do you think this is? Randonautica can sure be random, but then again, it's eerily spot on. Published to YouTube in January of 2021, Chelsea Luna writes, "This is my first time trying Randonautica, and I was so excited to have my friends Omar from Omar Gosh TV, James from The Fam, and Carlos from Carlos The Fam joining me on this adventure, and just like that, the adventure begins. They're driving along when something hits the back of their car."
What was that? What was that? Bro, there's something just hit the back of the car.
It sounds like a rock or a pebble. They stop to see if something is back there, but they come up short. In the distance, something is heard. It sounds like coyotes or something.
Is that a coyote?
I don't know what that is. Stop!
Whatever it is scares the group, and they hurry to get in the car and lock the doors. Later, as they're driving by a bunch of tires, a strange growl is heard.
Monster.
What is that?
What? No. You heard something?
It sounds like a growl.
Yeah, it sounded like a growl.
They continue on. A strange sound effect that the crew missed is heard in the background. It almost sounds like a disembodied voice is screaming, and it says, "You."
Ow.
Oh, I want to get out. Bro, you didn't say it at the last look.
At one point, they're taken to the statue of an angel defeating a demon. Carlos says he was thinking about an angel, so this is a bit freaky that the app drew them here. Does this creepy adventure make you want to never use Randonautica again? Because that's definitely the case for me. Posted to YouTube channel Fox 8 News Cleveland in February of 2020. This video shows homeowners turning the tables on an unknown man entering into his home near West Salem, Ohio. Using a pitchfork, this man found himself face to face with a standoff by the homeowner. This was not the first time this unknown person did this in the area. He was wanted for various similar activities all over the county, so it's likely that these homeowners were prepared to greet the man should he try his luck at their doors. After being called to the rural home, the Wayne County deputy found the two homeowners holding this individual until authorities arrived. They'd chased down the suspect into a wooded area by tracking his footprints in the snow. After the individual tried to enter, one of the residents said, "He took the pitchfork, busted my storm door lock, busted that out. There's 4 holes in my door."
You took a pitchfork, busted my storm door lock, busted that out. There's 4 holes in my door.
Authorities' reports state that not only was the suspect armed, but he had a number of taken items in his possessions, which he'd taken from the other similar events. At the time of writing, the suspect was being held on bond, one more bad guy off the streets, or in this case, out of the forest. Not too long ago, someone named Mr. Anime used to do reviews of Japanese cartoons on YouTube. He managed to attract a fairly large fan base, and everything looked to be going well for his channel. Then one day he just snapped and took out his entire family with a firearm. About a month before the incident unfolded, he made a suspicious sounding video called "Mr. Anime is planning something." The video sounds mostly normal except for a couple of things. He talks about taking a break for a while. At times it even sounds like he is saying goodbye to everyone for good.
I want to thank you guys a lot for sticking with me and watching the channel. I got more subscribers than ever.
I can't help but wonder if Mr. Anime made this video while in the middle of an internal struggle over the fate of his family. It almost seems like he is trying to decide if he should continue building on the success of the channel, or commit an unspeakable act against those he loves the most. When inanimate objects start taking life around your home, maybe your house is cursed a la Beauty and the Beast, or maybe it's haunted by a poltergeist. Posted to YouTube by Horrifying Nightmares in January of 2013, the YouTuber explains, "Last week we captured footage of a bull scooting across the table. Some said it was a string, but this time the bull flew into the air, cups scooted across the table, and the entire table shook." Noting that the video speaks for itself, let's see if it does. The video shows a little boy playing at a table. In front of him is a red bowl with something inside. The boy plays for a time without incident, but the minute he walks away from the table, the bowl slides on its own to the left. In a later clip, the same red bowl flies from the table, another blue bowl and green cup slide across it, then the table jumps up, shaken by the paranormal. Would you be interested in eating at this poltergeist table? I think I'm gonna pass. Published to YouTube by Scary Videos in November of 2015, this creepy CCTV footage shows a terrifying incident with a shadow ghost. According to the video, this incident occurred in an IT park in November of 2015. Around 6 p.m., a man is walking down the hallway. His shadow is cast on the wall at the end of the hall. As he turns the corner, another shadow suddenly springs from the adjacent hallway, running him into a corner. The man is thrown up against the wall by this evil shadow. He falls to the ground and the shadow drags him by the ankle across the corner. Somehow he manages to pull himself loose and flee, while the shadow figure stands for a moment and then disappears. It's just good he got away. I bet you'll never look at your shadow the same way again. Another poltergeist is haunting an abandoned church, and this one isn't so playful. Published to YouTube in July of 2021, this abandoned church has some supernatural visitors. Inside the church, amongst the whistling in the wilderness, something thuds nearby. The boys hold still, trying to listen for more unexplained noises. Moments later, they are standing there, casting light on the wall, when a distant, low-pitched moan is heard in the background. Well, in what looks like a basement space with lots of old items stored, a blast of sound is heard in the next room.
Güey, ¿qué pedo?
Ven.
Güey.
Ven. Se oyó acá, se oyó allá. Se oyó allá, güey.
Something heavy and out of sight was thrown on the ground. As the boys attempt to speak to the spirit, another strange moan sounds faintly. And then a couple of shelf doors are slammed shut with great force. In another area of the haunted church, several small successive thuds are followed by a strange double beep. They quickly get away from that space. Later, when peeking around a corner, a cabinet door slowly closes. Whatever is closed isn't caught on camera. Not long after, a big heavy door slowly opens before being jarringly half shut. They approach the door. There is nothing on the other side. As the scary video wraps up, one of the crew is taking in a dark room when they hear a faint noise in the darkness.
Como lo hicimos en aquella ocasión que entramos a este.
They look over, shining a light there but find nothing. What is following them through this church? Perhaps a demon that couldn't be redeemed. Gym class is often one of the most dreaded classes, and this video will give you even more reason to hate it. Posted to YouTube in January of 2020, this clip shows a North Carolina school gym bursting apart on camera, known as a microburst. It tore through this gym, similar to a twister. Microbursts are short-lived bursts of intense weather, lasting often from around 5 to 10 minutes. Upon reaching the ground, the column can direct winds of more than 100 miles per hour in any direction. While dry microbursts are more common, wet ones like the one in this video are rare. Winds can be even heavier with wet ones, due to the fact that they're accompanied by heavy precipitation, propelling the winds to move even faster. As this water balloon dropped on Sampson County, the microburst tore the gym's roof and wall clean off, while students raced to safety from the storm, during a time in which more than a dozen students were playing inside. While the gym is undoubtedly closed for a time for repairs, psychological repairs to those students present during the incident will likely take much longer. If you are a fan of Tales from the Crypt, this scary video is right up your alley. Published by Proving Demons in October of 2021, this video welcomes you to the land of the no longer living. When they arrive on site, the first thing that greets them is a cemetery.
Oh, it's a cemetery.
There's a cemetery here.
Navigating through brambles down to a lower entrance, they arrive at a barbed wire fence. It's clear that the owners didn't want anyone getting in here. They have to wade through the barbed wire to get to the door, having traveled 5 hours to explore this site.
Oh, please, God, let it be open. We've traveled 5.5 hours.
At last, they arrive at the door and are thankfully able to open it. Wandering through the old church, they encounter several crypts. More open crypts and coffins are found at the end of the hallway, while well water floods the floor. A human skull is in one open coffin and there is human hair still on it.
Oh, no.
Come here. No. Education. So, I want to point out, just shine a light on it for me. There's still hair on its head. Still got teeth. Obviously, oh, that's rotting brain in there.
As he's prodding the skull head, they think they hear something down the hallway.
What?
What's wrong?
Examining the skull more closely, you can see it still has human hair and teeth. As they're talking about how it felt like someone was walking behind them, someone shushes them from what sounds like the corner of the room.
Really? What was that? The shh. Somebody just shushed us.
It seems this team of urban explorers has disturbed the peace. All I know is I would never be going back to that place. With a name like Forest of the Black Cross, this place is bound to experience some shady supernatural happenings. Captured and published to YouTube in July of 2021, the crew are filming at night in the dark and haunted forest, and what they encountered does appear to be supernatural. Something is disturbing the forest, and as they zero in on it, they spot the dreaded figure amongst the thick brush.
Tá comendo alguma coisa. Tá vendo, Gê? Deus. Cadê, Gê? Ele tá descendo. Ele ali. Olha, meu Deus do céu, cara.
The scary footage captures the face of a wild beast with glowing orange eyes, sharp features, and a gray tone. It looks unlike any other forest creature, and unlike any human figure at that. The crew rightly freaks out, and as a deep growl rumbles through the forest, they flee as fast as their legs will carry them. As they race away, howling is heard into the night.
Meu Deus! Vem, passa! Onde é que entrada, porra?
Were they really faster than this werewolf, or did the wolf simply find other more alluring prey? Trevor Dealey didn't show up for work and his co-workers are worried. He never misses work no matter what. When he misses another day, they call the Dublin police. Detectives check cameras. Trevor is a redhead over 6 feet tall, hard to miss. The year is 2000, so they don't have many CCTV systems, but they have enough. This is what they find. His co-workers were with him at an office party at a bar called Copperface Jack's. They moved the party to a nightclub called Buck Whaley's, and Trevor Dealey stays there until close. It's about 3:30 a.m. at this point, and Trevor has already said goodbye to all of his co-workers. He will see them tomorrow. Trevor doesn't go home from there. He's in a good mood, so despite the wind and rain, he goes back to his place of work, a bank that's open 24/7, to grab an umbrella and to talk to some co-workers. Outside of the bank is someone else who doesn't mind the bad weather, a man dressed in all black. They cross paths at 3:34 in the morning. This man has been here since 3:05, simply standing around a bank in the middle of the night for about half an hour. He waits 8 seconds and then follows Trevor to a side gate. There they talk for 10 seconds. The stranger is as tall as Trevor and looks stronger. Trevor unlocks the gate. The man waits for at least a minute as Trevor talks to some people inside. He doesn't mention the man dressed in black, so he must not have felt in any danger, or else he would have no doubt asked for help. About half an hour later is when Trevor comes out with an umbrella. He unlocks the gate and heads home. The man dressed in black appears. 5 minutes later, Trevor leaves his best friend a voicemail. "Hi Glenn, I've missed you there. Just on my way home, all going good. I'll talk to you tomorrow." It was the last words anyone would hear from him. Trevor is on Haddington Road, except something looks wrong. He's in quite a hurry. 22 seconds passed and someone speed walks behind him, a person wearing all black, and that's where the trail ends. None of the other surveillance cameras show Trevor again. He was definitely moving fast in the last video. He could have been running because the rain got worse, but I'm fairly sure he was being stalked. Police were able to verify that the man dressed in black behind him was the same person who was at the bank. Standing outside of a bank for a half hour at night is shady to begin with, but then waiting for a half hour for someone to come out and following them for another 15 minutes home is all the circumstantial evidence detectives needed to determine Trevor had his life taken. They were never able to learn who the man dressed in black was. The disappearance remains an unsolved mystery 20 years later. Not even a €100,000 reward in recent years has been enough to make anyone step forward. With that said, the case was reopened in 2016. The video was uploaded by the National Police Force of Ireland and needs more attention. I would like to make the surveillance video go viral in hopes that someone has the answer. He probably lost his life, but we can't rule out being taken captive. Maybe we can help find him and give his remaining family closure. From the get-go, this video gives you distinctly unsettling feelings. Posted by Calligram to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the Redditor teases with the title, "Jump scare only, maybe." The low-def footage follows our cameraman down a staircase, into a dark room, and later into a public restroom. All the while, the irritating sound scrambles in and out. Our film man enters the last bathroom stall, closing the door behind him, then presumably gets ready to do his business. As he leaves the seat, the camera angle turns, showing something emerging from the stall next door. As the video is so low def, it's unclear what the object is, maybe a snake of some kind. As you can see movement on the ground, and then something lifts from the bottom of the stall. Imagine doing your business when you're greeted surprisingly by this monster next door. What do you think this creature could be? Would you ever dare enter this bathroom stall? Nevertheless, it's certainly creepy. A man comes home to find a woman he's never seen before in his living room. She runs out the door and he checks his home security system. This is what she was caught doing, picking a lock and testing the door while holding out a purse so as to look more natural. Soon, other neighbors check their cameras and find evidence of her doing the same thing. Her wide eyes look really creepy, like she's not in control of herself and would do almost anything out of desperation. Definitely not someone you'd want in your house at random. The fact that she would return to the same street day after day fills them with dread, wondering if they'll be targeted next. As far as I was able to tell, police in Denver, Colorado have yet to identify this woman, so take a look at her face and let's see if we can provide them with any assistance. This little 2.5 foot tall fuzzy robot is called Leonardo, or Leo for short, and in 2002 when everyone was playing PlayStation 2 and watching DVDs, this robot was already learning how to think, feel, and respond.
He's alive! He's alive!
Leo was created at the MIT Media Lab in Massachusetts. I know that doesn't look scary at all, but that's the whole point. It's designed so you won't want to be afraid of it. They want you to come closer so that it can learn from you. There's something disturbing about a fuzzy robot exploiting our natural trust for cute animals as a way to help it learn more about interacting with people. I doubt that they would need to downplay its appearance so greatly if the concept of AI wasn't so dangerous and scary to begin with. Anyway, Leo quickly learned how to do stuff after being shown only one time.
Press the red button.
Note how in this next part, Leo is not asked to press the buttons at all, but does so anyway.
Have you learned to turn all the buttons on? Very good.
Again, Leo was not asked to press them. It was asked if it knew how to press them. It correctly assumed that was what she was going to ask of it next. Even today's robots can barely predict what humans want, but this robot, who is 2 decades old, is able to make its own decisions. Next, a scientist flies an object around so that Leo can learn how to track things with its mounted camera eyes. Much like Leo's harmless appearance, they use an Elmo doll to disarm our senses. It's able to track this Elmo doll without problem. It learns how to identify and track red things if asked. Here it remembers Big Bird's face and is able to find Big Bird when asked.
Can you find Big Bird?
Leo has a neutral expression at first. When the scientist says that Big Bird is a friend, Leo likes him.
Hey Leo, look at Big Bird. Don't you think he's great?
It can also be trained to not like something.
Leo, Cookie Monster is very bad. He's very bad, Leo. He's a scary monster who wants to get your cookies.
If Leo can be taught how to fear or love, then he could also be taught how to hate and destroy. Think about what a bigger robot could do with these abilities. It could be trained to be a police robot, a self-learning face-scanning cyborg that can be taught to do great good or great evil. Or even more terrifying, maybe it could come to the conclusion of what's good and what's evil on its own. Leo could be an early prototype for all that and more. Again, this is just an opinion, but it creeps me out to keep robotic AI looking as soft, cuddly, and unassuming as possible. When searching for ghosts in a haunted house abandoned in the jungle, be prepared to skip a step. This video, posted to YouTube by Pratik Paul in July of 2015, purports to show a real ghost girl in Matharan, India. The beautiful stone building in this clip is surrounded by foliage inside and out. The guide informs his audience about the house. According to him, it's one of the oldest houses in Matharan. built during an era when the East India Company ruled in India. A general in the East India Company lived here with his family, including his wife and kin. Although the general was a generous man, during the time of the revolution, the house was lit on fire by rebel villagers. The colonel and his family could not escape. Within 30 minutes, the house was up in flames. Some say you can hear the sound of footsteps within the haunted house, and it's a general rule that no one should enter after 5 p.m. The crew is here at 5:30, hoping to capture on camera the ghosts that are said to haunt the place. After feeling unsettled by something, the camera whirls around and cries out that something is there. You can't see anything in the thick surrounding foliage. Although the cameraman states he saw a shadow, the other guy notes that it's just a cat, man. But then again, he says something feels wrong. The cameraman zooms in on a window opposite, and a figure with black hair can be seen there. One of the men says they heard a sound. That's when they decide to book it out of there and fast.
What that?
Sound, guys, I heard a sound right now.
Okay, let's leave. Let's leave.
Well, some are quick to call fake on this one. YouTuber Science Classes is a little more relenting, writing, "If it's true, then I too want to see that spirit. Do you too? Count me in as well." This scary video captured an inhuman humanoid figure lurking over a human habitat, and it has been trending in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community. Taken in someone's backyard, you first see a pool with trees beyond. It looks as though the cameraman is searching for something in the foliage. He then turns to the roof of the home. The roof at first seems to be empty, but when the cameraman turns completely to the right, this terrifying figure is spotted. Its fleshy skin is a raw sunburnt pink, its limbs are somewhat elongated, its shoulders are hunchbacked, and its pinhead is on a neck that's uncannily long. The creepiest part of it is that the figure is looking right at him. It stays still for a second, its eyes glowing as it watches the unsuspecting cameraman, before leaping with cat-like reflexes over the other side of the roof and out of sight. If this footage is real, then I have no idea what this thing possibly was. Dashcam footage caught this near-passing experience on an icy Illinois highway. Reported by Chicago's WGN9 in November of 2019, Illinois state authorities released the footage to warn drivers to navigate the winter roads slowly and carefully, calling it a miracle on ice. 2 state troopers were on the shoulder of Interstate 64, changing a driver's flat tire, when all 3 nearly lost their lives as this semi-truck slid off the road, overturning right into the car. Both the woman and the troopers launched into a nearby ditch, barely avoiding the truck. All 4, including the driver of the truck, escaped with their lives. While this is a rare case on the roads, remember it could happen to anyone. Miracle is right. If you think you're safe in your own home, think again. Posted by Call Me Ace here to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the Redditor explains, "This is a video of a random guy walking up to my brother's home in Houston, Texas. The stranger flashed their flashlight through my brother's front door window and camera. The video shows a man possibly casing the place. If that is what he's doing, he isn't taking many precautions, as he's not wearing a mask of any kind to hide his identity, nor does he take any notice at first of the security camera that's caught him red-handed. If he was trying to fly under the radar, he's doing a terrible job at it. Not only does he flash a flashlight directly into the potential target's home, but he looks squarely into the security camera, capturing his headshot straight on, right before shining the flashlight into the camera's face too." Redditor Stark Burrito asks, "Was he pointing the flashlight into the camera to obscure himself? Bit late, buddy." Other Redditors recommended that the homeowner alert other neighbors to the incident, as well as the neighborhood watch and local authorities. It might prevent the unknown person from taking this further. While you may not have to worry about those you know entering into your home, you should definitely worry about randos. If you're about to blame some nighttime mischief on your pet, hold off for a hot minute and watch this. Posted to the r/ghosts subreddit, Barton Alright said his cat has been knocking things over at night for the past few weeks and waking them up, which is unlike him because he's a quiet cat during the day. So they set up a surveillance camera to try and catch him in the act. This is what they found. The first segment shows something fluttering the leaves of this flower on the table, but we know it's not the cat because he passes by the couch to the left. Later, as the cat is sitting on the couch, a dish towel falls from the fridge. Then an object is heard moving in the kitchen, and a close-up reveals the thing jiggling on its own on the counter. At the same time, a strange shadow appears on the front of the counter, although it's not clear if it's the cat being alerted to the sound or something else. Soon after, another object falls loudly from the countertop. Thus, we cannot see too well, nor do we know where the cat is. Then, after a strange orb moves through the scene, something else moves on the counter and is pushed to fall to the floor, all while the cat is perched on the table far away, watching. Then another object falls loudly next to it, which scares even the cat. This one wakes the owner up, who calls his cat a pain, but after watching the video in the morning, we're sure he regrets that. Was this cat, as some Redditors suggest, just protecting her owner at night? This abandoned house was a favorite haunt for squatters, and now it will soon be the favorite haunt of urban explorers. Published to YouTube by Lomar Mendez in March 2021, Omar and Chelsea dig right into this seriously creepy house. Littered with random garbage left behind, graffiti on the walls, and antique gems that look like they've been around for at least a century. Wandering through the house, Omar opens a door, and as he does, listen closely. You can hear a voice whisper, "Look."
I don't know, I haven't really been here in about a year and a half. The very first time we came here, we actually found homeless people stuff upstairs.
A detour into the bathroom brings viewers one of the grossest things seen in this top 10, a pile of discarded hair in the sink. They enter a bedroom, which might explain all the hair, as the room once housed people. Their belongings are still scattered across the floor. Further along, they find scraps of paper with strange noises written on them. They say, "disintegrates with light," and zap the ground. As they're heading upstairs, something falls in the room behind them, pushing them to pick up the pace. But now they have one problem. There's no way out. They wait around upstairs, but no one approaches, and nothing more is heard. Using an electromagnetic field detector, they sense energy in the home. Though the electricity isn't on, it's a steady current.
Look at that. Is there a spirit in here? Is this your house? Yo, it's steady. Like, for real.
The necrophonic device they use in the basement seems to confirm that energy. When they ask who's in the house with them, a voice says hi, and later, "Sir, hi."
Who's in here with us?
I'm hiding.
Are you hiding?
They continue to communicate with the spirits, and an orb appears in the top right corner of the door. Did a spirit just enter?
Was this your home?
They ask the spirits to make a noise for them. It almost sounds like it says ghost.
Can you make a noise for us?
They both start to feel ill and uneasy. As they're getting ready to leave, Omar says he felt like the entire house shook.
I almost thought it almost felt like the house shook. Like the entire house, right there, just shook.
That's like demonic.
Not long after, while they're speaking to each other, an orb appears to drift from Chelsea's head.
I don't know, but it's like really eerie quiet now, and like...
Yeah, it's really quiet.
Have the spirits attached to their new hosts? If that's the case, that would truly Mamma Mia. Ghosts appear in the unlikeliest of places. Published to YouTube in February of 2012, Mad Mup writes, "This is actual unedited security camera footage recorded by myself using my phone. The gate captured in the security footage is locked with a padlock. According to Mad Mup, the padlock was firmly locked 5 minutes earlier, and someone working in the warehouse had gone to the keys, and then this happened. The CCTV footage shows the gate being pushed roughly, then you can see the padlock unlocking and twisting open on its own, allowing the gates to swing wide. There's absolutely no one around. Is this the work of a warehouse ghost who just doesn't want to punch out, or is it something not paranormal altogether? But it seems like it just can't be explained to me." There's a scary haunted tunnel in Pakistan that MMTV wants to go exploring to see what creepy things he can find inside. Exploring a haunted tunnel in the desert at night by yourself, what can go wrong? Apparently a lot.
ये देखिए ये सारा वीराना है और दूर पहाड़ हैं, आबादी से बहुत दूर हूँ मैं। ये क्या हो रहा है स्टार्ट में ही? या अल्लाह खैर।
A sparkling cloud of mist lingers around him, spirits he suspects. First it travels in one direction, disappears and comes back to guide him towards the tunnel.
और जो चीज़ भी है ये देखिए, अब ये देखिए मैं एक जगह पे खड़ा हूँ, मैं बिल्कुल अपनी।
That's really weird, but some downright scary things are caught on camera when he goes to the entrance, like this red stain on the ground that shapes the outline of a person.
मैं एक जगह पे रुका हूँ, मुसलसल कोई सरसराहट है।
Strange, unexplained lights give him pause, and you can say whatever you want about this freakishly deep laughter.
ये क्या है? ओह, या अल्लाह, ओए, ये टायर जा रहे हैं।
It's not the wind. The wind doesn't blow tires. He gets out of there fast, not wanting to face whatever is haunting this strange place, and when he takes one last glance at the entrance, he spies movement from above. Something wants to follow him home. After all of these scary moments, I would say yes, this tunnel is haunted. It's usually obvious when someone isn't paying attention on the road, but what happens when they fall asleep altogether? Posted to the NBC News YouTube channel in September of 2019, this clip captured a Massachusetts driver fast asleep on the highway. Being that his Tesla is driving normally, it's presumed that the car was in autopilot mode, a Tesla feature that's been viewed as controversial by some. NBC News states, "It's the latest incident involving semi-autonomous cars that have authorities and federal safety experts sounding an alarm." Traveling down the highway, the video was captured by Twitter user Dakota Randall as he drove down the Massachusetts Turnpike. Randall tweeted the video and later told local media that he tried to wake the driver or the passenger, who is also fast asleep, by beeping his horn to no avail. Randall spoke with WHDH News in Newton, Massachusetts about the incident. "I thought, wow, I was just driving next to somebody who was completely asleep. The car stayed the same speed in the same way on the highway." The advanced driver assistance system has come under scrutiny in the past few years. Tesla, on the other hand, claims that some of the videos showing Tesla drivers asleep at the wheel appear to be hoaxes. The company states that alerts are sent every half minute if the driver's hands have left the wheel. If warnings are found to be ignored, then the car's autopilot is prohibited. Whether or not this video is a hoax has yet to be seen, but spotting a driver recklessly asleep at the wheel like this on a high-speed highway would certainly stop your heart. It's a riddle wrapped inside an enigma, published by YB Normal in August of 2010. This scary video purports to have captured the Ghost Boy of Stonehenge. The mysterious site in the UK is estimated to have been built around 3000 BC, although there are many theories as to its arrangement and purpose. The truth is a mystery, and now another mystery to add on top of it. This scary video captures a pale figure appearing in the shadow of an inner stone, placed between two larger stones in the outer ring. The figure appears to be standing and then crouches down, but can still be recognized on the stone. Some in the comments think it's just the light, but how would light explain the figure's movement? What happens to evil when it's found out? This video reveals the fear even evil suffers when being discovered. If you've heard of the Watts family from Frederick, Colorado, then you know that this man entering his neighbor's home to review security footage is not a man but a monster. During the commotion and trying to find the missing persons, this video was taken on August 13th according to the timestamp, just 2 days before being put behind bars on August 15th. The clip shows Watt's reaction to his neighbor's surveillance footage. The man's body language is quite telling. He will barely look up from his phone as the neighbor talks to police about how his surveillance camera is motion activated. Any motion that happens on the street, including an angle on Watt's home, is caught on camera. One of the videos shows Watts pulling his vehicle up to the house. In the clip, Watts claims that he parked where he did to bring tools in. He then puts his hands on the back of his head, completely bowled over by this unanticipated evidence. He sways back and forth, unable to keep still as his story crumbles beneath him. The neighbor repeats that if any action had happened during this period, he would have caught it on surveillance. In fact, the neighbor keeps his eyes steadfast on Chris, watching him watch the video, or not watch it because he can barely look at it. The entire clip is infuriating to watch. It makes your skin crawl. Watts can't get out of the house fast enough, and the moment he does, his neighbor admits his suspicions to police. It almost makes your heart stop. Truly haunting. Pete didn't intend to make a scary fishing video, but you never know what kind of strangeness you'll find while casting off in the murky canals of Florida.
Got him again. Right out of that tunnel he came. Oh, trying to get my bass.
Pete is reeling in a fish when a cunning creature cuts off his catch. Whatever's underwater is never fully shown, but at 6 minutes and 44 seconds, it comes close to the surface. What little we do see looks like it could be the shape of an alligator. A very dark figure is caught on camera, but the creature remains unidentified. One thing's clear. Some scary stuff is lurking in that storm system, so he better not stand so close. What do you think it is? Is this an elf or a small child? Posted to TikTok by Gonzo de Goose. This scary clip was captured at 3 a.m. on CCTV. The video shows a small figure, the height of a toddler, entering the frame. The figure walks around a vehicle and then disappears between the two vehicles parked in the driveway. The TikToker is wondering if it's a kid or an elf. Considering it's 3 a.m. as Gonzo noted, both options are frightening. A strange creature sighting has some people freaking out, while others are screaming fake. Someone is filming across the street late at night when a long spidery shadow sweeps across the face of a building opposite of them. Then it's gone. At 55 seconds, you get a better look at some kind of long-limbed lurker, clutching crevices before descending back into the shadows. It passes over a window, and fortunately for whoever lives there, does not try to squeeze its way inside. What little is caught on camera is scary, but almost definitely edited. The video quality is very pixelated and almost certainly the after effects of studio software rather than an organic creature sighting. If this was a real sighting, a creature this big would probably have multiple videos, especially being sighted out of an apartment complex, not just a single grainy encounter. This complex has been abandoned for 20 years due to rumored dark magic being done in the place. It is now believed to be haunted. Published to the r/ghosts subreddit by Kevin ADITM, this scary video was filmed in the abandoned Indonesian housing complex and caught something lurking in the shadows while trying to communicate with the spirits of this place using a spirit box. The men stand in a hallway waiting for some response. Hearing a noise behind him, the cameraman pans around, and it's then that they receive one, but it's visual rather than audible. A shadow appears momentarily in the corner of an open doorway. It looks like a shadow person peeking out for a moment before pulling back and disappearing. Some in the comments think it's a shadow of the garment hanging by the door, cast at an awkward angle by the light, but others argue that the garment is unable to cast a shadow in that direction because the wall clearly obstructs it. Whose side are you on? Can this be explained by the cloth, or is this footage truly paranormal? I'm siding with the second option for this footage. Pitcher, Oklahoma is said to be one of the creepiest ghost towns in all of the United States, full of scary abandoned places you'd never want to go exploring on your own. But I'll go into a little more detail about its mysterious history in a second. First, this video shows what goes wrong when you come to this place. To their horror, they capture what they later describe as a goblin-like creature on their camera. The pale ghoul has a completely white bald head with chiseled features and a pointy, elongated ear. When it turns to look at them, this still image at 34 seconds does not exactly look like a mask, but rather a person. It seems to possess excellent hearing and turns around at the sight of a slight exhale. Now, here's where things get truly bizarre. You see, this area was responsible for half of the country's lead production at one point. The town of Pitcher was shut down after large mounds of toxic material were found dumped all around the town, byproducts of local lead and zinc mines. Thousands of people used to live here. Now there's less than 20. And this could be one of the few remaining residents. Being haunted by a video game may seem strange, but many in the comments admit to being haunted by this buried alive hidden floor on Pokemon Tower. YouTuber 7Go6 posts a video of the secret room writing, "Finally I found the battle with buried alive, hidden in the last floor of Pokemon Tower. The rumors were real. If you lost against him, will appear the image of buried alive catching you, with the music of Lavender Town lower, reversed, and slower. When the music finish, the game collapses and the save gets deleted." The early graphics and eerie Nintendo music make this throwback all the more haunting. After navigating to the hidden floor on Pokemon Tower, a battle with buried alive ensues. He sends a creature called White Hand to fight the hero. When White Hand ultimately wins, draining the life from the Pokemon, he faints, to which White Hand exclaims, "Finally, raw meat." What is standing in the hallway? Posted to TikTok by BV1150, this set of creepy videos has me hiding under the covers. The TikToker is in his room, where he hears a repeated bang coming from his closet. He wakes his friend up, who is sleeping on the floor. And then goes to slide the closet door open and reveal whoever is making the noise. But no one is there. In another of his videos, he appears to find what he was looking for. Unlocking his bedroom door, he opens it, and there's a clear outline of a dark figure standing at the end of a hallway, facing him.
Guys, I think this might be the last time.
He quickly slams the door shut and locks it again. Some in the comments of the video suggest that he take a run at it. Others think maybe the creature is just delivering DoorDash. Whatever is happening here, this isn't BV's house anymore, because it seems a ghost has taken over. Are we seeing what I think we're seeing? Posted to TikTok by Lenore Kongi. This creepy CCTV footage was taken outside of a home in November of 2020 at around 4 p.m. The footage shows a man walking down the street. The man at first appears perfectly normal from far away, but zoom in and you'll see something is off, his head to be exact. Even creepier, the man appears to be carrying something in one hand. Could it be his own head? What do you think? Is this somehow a camera glitch? Or is this Sleepy Hollow all over again? This Saudi Arabian YouTuber decided to do some urban exploring in 2018. The property looks long abandoned, and they are forced to explore only by flashlight. Despite the creepy feel of the place from the very start, the men brave it out and continue exploring. It starts to appear as though the men are being watched, and on multiple occasions they check their surroundings to make sure they are all alone. It turns out their instincts are correct, as they capture what they claim is a witch. It definitely appears to be someone dressed in all black robes, with their face fully covered. I believe someone might have actually been living on the property, and they wanted to scare them away. Or do you think the YouTuber was correct, and this was an actual witch? Houses aren't the only stomping grounds for ghosts. Apparently, so are Walmarts. Posted by YouTuber Shabard, he notes that this little girl Walmart ghost was caught on surveillance camera in Oxnard, California. Shabard writes, Walmart is haunted by the ghost of a 7 to 9-year-old Mexican-American girl. According to Shabard, night workers at Walmart claim to have felt cold spots and to have seen balls bouncing on their own. Others say they've seen the girl in a solid full apparition, while the ghost has appeared to some as a misty half-body apparition. Those who come across the ghost state that she smiles, giggles, and is often playful, but there's just one problem. According to the website Backpackerverse, the girl's eyes are disturbingly milky white, and from the mouth down, her whole body is covered in red. Liquid, apparently an appalling amount of it. The video purportedly captures this friendly ghost in semi-transparent form. She appears to be pursuing the closed section of Walmart. She can be seen for a split second before she vanishes out of view again. She isn't wearing her regular blue dress, but appears to be wearing some shorts and a t-shirt. She also does not seem to be covered in red, so who knows? Perhaps there is a second ghost haunting these hallowed grounds. Thank you so much for getting me to 5,000 subscribers on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers. Thank you.